Welcome back to another episode of The Drop Off. I'm your host, J.Love, and today I brought with me the other J. That's right, J King, aka Grizzly Adams, aka Michael Jordan. That's right, I said it. J King is the Michael Jordan of my era of driver. That is correct. I stand by it. I believe that wholeheartedly. Today, Jay's going to come, share with you guys a little bit about his journey into UPS, a little bit about his life before. Me and Jay are going to talk about how we met. Jay is literally the first person that I got to know really well when I started here 10 years ago. We loaded trucks right next to each other. We've been on some adventures in life. And it was real cool sitting down having this conversation with my guy. Jay is super intelligent. He's super in tune with himself. And I've learned a lot from Jay over my time, getting to know him. And I think he has a lot of good information that I think, new drivers could use, veteran drivers could use, not only just as being a UPS driver, but also in your personal lives. And Jay is so much my guy that he got me to share something that I've never told anyone before. And if you stick around throughout the whole episode, you might get to know and learn a little something about me. And if you hear it and you see me, come holler at me about it. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into it, man. I hope you guys enjoy this fascinating conversation that I had with my guy. And, let's get to it, people. The Drop Off. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of The Drop Off. Today, I have the person that I have known the longest, my entire UPS career here, my boy, J King. Jay, say hello to the people.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me, man.
Man, thank you for coming, Jay. I think this is going to be one of the episodes that people listen to, and then people at their building are going to be like, I didn't know you knew him like that.
Yeah.
I've literally known him since I stepped through the door. You were here before me a little bit, and then you went driving before I did too. But we're gonna get into that. But I do want to say before, when you went driving though, the whole reason I even ended up at Red Rock was because of you. Because you went over there, and I was like, man, Jay made it over there, but everybody who tries to drive at the South is failing right now. I was like, so if Jay made it, that's where I'm going. I'm going where Jay's going. So let's get started. So, first question, Jay, who did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
Oh, man. I wanted to play baseball, went to college for it.
Okay.
Just a community college. It was a lot harder. It takes a lot of dedication. You were talking about, it's a different level. So when that all fell apart, just got a job, started working.
Okay.
Somehow I landed up doing security, stuff like that, and then got into car inspection reports.
What?
I've always had a love of cars,
What?
So
car inspection reports?
Yeah, you go around with a computer and on used cars and estimate not the value, but you detail the damage.
Okay, like appraisal almost?
Yeah, essentially, but there's no cost end on mine. I just detailing the car digitally.
Okay.
So if there's any scratches or anything, you're putting that in the computer, so the system, they have a detailed report of the car. So, but I didn't have anything to do with value, just any damages, things like that.
Okay. I do want to ask you, right, because you're one of the people that I know who played college sports at a real high level. And I do know that there are a lot of athletes that work for UPS. And then there's also a lot of dudes who like to think that they were good at sports and they don't so much realize that because I try to tell people like, hey, there's a super gap from going to play high school sports and then going to play college sports. That's a whole different world. So what would you say was like the biggest difference from making the jump from high school sports to college sports?
Man, and there's an even bigger gap at the next level, It's I think it's like your mindset,
Okay.
Just kind of having your life organized and set up and squared where you don't have to worry about too much. You live, breathe, eat. Everything you do is that thing, And if you don't have that, the mindset, or something happens, you get hurt, it's taking everything. And my example, I was thinking about it earlier. When I went to high school here in Nevada, we'd run like a 6.5 minute mile.
Okay.
Couldn't do it. I've always been a big fella, Took a long time. I finally got down to it. They made us. I had to run one like every day or every other day, and just timed it. And the difference, you'd see the guys that could do it, they push themselves. They have to make it.
Yeah.
They're going to puke, And full circle on that was coming into driving, Like
what do you mean?
Like if I remember for me, it felt like going over to the North Building. It was like sink or swim. Like either you get that 6.5 minute mile or
you're not a driver.
See ya.
Yeah.
So the push from high school to college, it was a 6 minute mile. So now you have to even step up your game tenfold,
Yep.
I couldn't do the 6.5 minute mile. It took me how many months? And then in college, they stepped it up as the same thing. You can't make it. You're going to do extra work to make it, And gosh, that extra work is really what takes you to that next level.
Yeah.
And it was a good lesson because I learned that now with everything I do, If you want to succeed at something, like you really have to put in the work. There's no you can't just, there's no shortcuts.
To your point, I remember my first stint at college. First of all, when I first got there, I was like, let's go. I'm free. It's party time. Man, so it was definitely super challenging because, I'm at this school for basketball, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm an adult now. I'm free. So when I first get there, I'm just going crazy. I'm at every party. I'm at every event. That's how I ended up even becoming familiar with Vegas, because there were guys from Vegas that were playing on my college team, and I was coming out here with them like as often as possible. So I remember after my first semester being like, man, forget basketball. I'm just trying to live, and because I never got to do that as an adult and like be super free. So I was like, all right, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. So then I remember coming back to college and then, just walking on, just like, all right, no, you're still good, so you can still play. And then my mentality changing, because I do remember from my first stint there, all the dudes who were like, are super good, like who only stayed, they didn't stay for their 2 years. They just stayed for the 1 year and either went straight directly overseas or they went to go play D1 somewhere. They didn't have that party mindset. It was straight 6 minute mile. It was, I don't care about anything else. I don't want any new friends. I'm just in the gym. And you are correct, because I do see how when I started driving, I did have that same mentality. It was like, dude, okay, we're gonna get it now. Whatever obstacle is in the way, it doesn't matter. Just 6 minute mile now. You will be a driver now.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually really cool, because that's one of the reasons why I tell people like sports is important, or at least it was important for me, because there were a lot of life lessons that I learned through sports, not just, from playing like Pop Warner football in middle school basketball and high school basketball. But even in my, later athletic years, like sports forced me to like have some maturity, have some focus and dedication. So yeah,
if I don't play now, I fall apart.
What do you mean?
I'm still in like some rec leagues, and mess around. Like if I'm not a part of some organized thing where I have camaraderie with my team, I'm just a different person. It's strange.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you feel like keeping up, like playing in rec leagues and like men's leagues and stuff like that, it still like adds to your character now, like just in life.
Oh, tenfold, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I've been thinking about like trying to do something like that, like joining a men's league, like for basketball. But every time I'm like, all right, I'm going to go sign up. I'm like, no, I don't want to run anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Oh, and definitely like the first few weeks out after not doing it, like it hurts. Like even going in,
I would imagine.
Morning, like, oh man, tight. Like it's hard to get going at work,
Okay.
But I love it. It's necessary for me.
Well, you got to do what's necessary for you.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of that. So I do want to talk a little bit more about your journey to becoming a UPS driver, because so you just said that you were like not vehicle. I don't remember the exact name you called it, but you were like vehicle appraising.
Yeah.
But I do know you also said you drove for Cintas for a minute. I do want to hear about that, because it's kind of like you were a driver before a driver.
Yeah.
Before becoming a driver.
Essentially, yeah. It was like the company doesn't exist anymore. That the like department Cintas still exists, but
I was gonna say I still see Cintas trucks.
They were like paper shredding. You ever see like
Iron
Mountain stuff like that? That division I think is gone.
Oh,
but that's what was paper shredding. So you go around shredding paper. You have to have CDL to be in those.
What?
So, but they had a couple like small routes where you go around, and you basically transport the secure stuff through. You'd have like 10 bins in the truck or whatever. You support that stuff.
Okay.
And you bring it back and you shred it. Everybody would get back around the same time. You shred it there. Like
in my mind, when you said you get there and then you shred it, I'm thinking you got like a shredder in the truck.
Yeah, the trucks have giant shredders in them.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So hold on. So you were picking stuff up, picking up documents, and then shredding them in the truck, and then taking them back and disposing of the stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was a good time.
I don't know why I thought they delivered uniforms.
They do. It's just a different.
Hold up. So you was delivering papers and shredding documents.
No, like the trucks that shredded the paper, their air brakes and weight capacity once the paper gets all in there.
Oh, so those were like the ones you needed CDLs for.
CDL, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Class B. It's not like for trailers. It's it's just a different CDL.
Okay.
But they just had like little box trucks, like little support trucks for like smaller.
Okay, because those are the ones I'm familiar with.
But they familiar with seeing. Like you go to a pharmacy. I think I don't really mess around with pharmacies other than like what I delivered, but they have like a pill return, and those bottles have like
people's addresses and all that stuff. Huh? I never thought about that. Yeah, so they got to get rid of that somehow.
Yeah, so somebody had to come in, and that stuff that's collected, they bring it, and they have like on-site. So I guess some of it's like secure, some of it's like on-site. So stuff I was doing, you didn't need a CDL, it was just a box truck. You collect it all, you do your route. I think it was like, I mostly did like CVS's. So you drive around, do like 14, 15 stops a day. It took a long time though, because
once you get all the stuff, you got to do stuff with it.
Yeah, and like the routes, like UPS, you're in a pocket. Like their routes were like real spread out. So it was a lot of driving, a lot of miles. But yeah, you just collect the stuff from them. The job was mostly like secure, keeping everything secure,
Okay.
Because it's important.
Okay. You didn't have a gun, did you?
No.
I would like whoever's going to be holding my documents to have a pistol or a shotgun or something to be like,
no, you can't know his address. That's just where my mind goes.
Yeah.
I want him to be strapped.
The bins are like locked up. Like you have keys.
Oh,
so yeah, every bin's like secure with locks and stuff.
I'm gonna say what you're saying right now makes me feel a little more comfortable with the world. Because we hear all this stuff about like data leakage and all that stuff. So,
but that's old school. That's all old paper and stuff. Like the digital stuff is a different realm.
Well, maybe everybody should just go back to paper. Maybe that's what we should all do, so we can all stop getting our information robbed.
I don't know, man. I like trees.
Okay. So I want to ask you, what was like the transition point from what you were doing before to, I think I'm gonna do this UPS thing.
Oh man, it was during that job because going up and with that job, like I always wanted to park. I just parked safe. I didn't feel like I had any authority to go up and park like in the front, So I'd always park, somewhere out of the way safe because I knew I was going to be in there for 15, 20 minutes,
Hold on. So you're telling me before, this is why this is funny to me, right? Because I remember when I first started driving and I was getting followed by Daniel. And Daniel pulled up on me, and he was like, J.Love, why are you parked like 50 feet away from where you're supposed to like deliver right now? I was like, I don't know. There's cars over there. I don't want to park by anything. I just don't want to take any type of chances. And to hear that, you were like, no, even before you were a UPS driver, you were just like, no, I want to be the safest dude possible. Yeah. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, right?
Okay.
But actually, I don't know who it was, but I saw a UPS driver roll up. Like, man, this guy, this coolest cat ever. Like, just parks right up front, rolls up, he's in and out. Like, man, I want a job like that.
Okay,
that's tight. And the girl I was seeing at the time knew C-Dub Williams, Charles Williams.
Oh, so yeah, C-Dub. Shout out Charles Williams. Charles, I never shout you out, but C-Dub, what's up, man? If you hear this, man, what's up, man? I think about you often, dude.
Too, man. Miss you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But you threw an OG name in there, like from our early days.
Well, that's the guy whose name that went on my referral to get into the company.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me more. You got to tell me more.
Dream.
So if his name went on to the referral, then that means you guys had to have had like some type of conversation where y'all had got cool.
Not even my girl just
what
talked to him. It's probably one of those times, and I don't know, trying to get in.
Okay. And she was like, "Hey, I know this dude," and then he said, "You can use my name for a referral."
A job. Yeah.
Okay.
So he stuck himself on a limb for that one, but I was hungry, dude. I had to get in there.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I was too, man. I remember when before they hired me, I was like showing up to the building once a week, like, "Hey, LaToya, is it time yet?" And she was like, "No, you can't even come through the gate right now. You can't come through the guard shop." I was like, "Well, meet me down here so you can tell me to my face that it's not time. Yeah. I just need to see somebody because this job needs to happen now. And until I get in here, you're going to see my face at least once a week." Okay. I remember that. I don't know. I don't really know if like a lot of the new faces that come through here, if they like had that do or die mentality where they're like hungry for something, because I've noticed that in like preload, like a lot of the preloaders are like they walk around like, "I don't need this job," or "I don't want this job." And it's interesting hearing you say that because I was in that same mindset you were in. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what's going to happen. There's nothing else I want more right now than to get in this building and start this career. Yeah. So, okay.
It wasn't perfect. Mistakes along the way, I live by failure. If I make a mistake, I try to make sure it doesn't happen again,
Yeah. Okay, so I do want to ask you about, because I'm not off the baseball thing yet. You walked in my house with a Big League Dreams T-shirt on.
Oh, the back's got the championship on there, baby.
Oh, snap! All right, so I do want to know about just like your baseball journey. I'm going to ask every person who comes on the show who like I know is like almost a professional athlete. I'm so interested in like your journey because I'm pretty sure we're going to have like similarities because, you know, mine was just a different sport, but the road to almost being a professional athlete is crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit more about your baseball journey. Like, so for one, when did you start playing?
Real young. I don't think I played. I think I went in early. I might either went in early or late. So either late t-ball or like early, like coach pitch.
Okay.
But like real young.
Mm-hmm.
Play catch with like my grandma before even. Yeah.
So your grandma was the one in the backyard playing catch with you?
Yeah, just anybody I could get to.
Okay.
Anybody, you know?
Okay.
And just always had a knack for it. Like, I was just always, I like throwing. Like, I was a pitcher. I wasn't really good on the field. Like, same thing. Just threw hard. Like, got out there and.
How fast was your fastball?
I mean,
at the peak,
younger?
at the peak performance, J. King. How fast was the fastball?
Like on a gun, 88, 89.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Which like it's for what people do now. It's so different, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you think about like driving that fast in a car, and you remove the car, it's fast.
That's fast as hell.
Yeah,
that's fast as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were like? How were you up at bat though?
Oh, like in the higher levels, like you don't hit. If you pitch, you just pitch.
Okay.
Unless you're like, you know, there's a guy at the big leagues now that plays for the Angels.
Okay.
He pitches and he DHs.
What is that?
So in the American League, they have, you know, there's 9 guys on the field. Mm-hmm. In the American League, the pitcher doesn't hit, and there's like a hitter that hits for him in his place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Designated hitter?
Yeah, DH.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. No, listen,
we
were talking earlier. I'm like, I know a little bit about baseball, but I'm not like super versed in baseball.
And my knowledge of it's so high, it's hard to, you know, like I forget sometimes that I know a lot. So like relaying simple things to people, I'm like, oh, I forgot.
See, you said DH. I picked it up.
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah,
I got it. Yeah. I got it. I'll be able to roll with you.
Yep.
Okay. So at what stage in baseball were you like, okay, it's time to shut it down? And like, what was your thought process from, okay, I don't think I'm going to do this no more, or
my arm took me out.
Yeah, injuries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
I had some like issues my freshman year, like it felt like it was in my back, like in here. You know, I don't know how to explain it, what it is, and never really like found anything. You know, just like related it to like. I mean, I throw so much, you know, just like overuse maybe. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because now I know like there's knowledge out there. Like, you know, the internet wasn't what it was.
Yeah. You're telling people how old we are right now.
Dog, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We're older. But yeah, we're still young, but we older.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the day that they had me on the radar gun, like 88, 89. Mm-hmm. After that, I started feeling like pain and it couldn't like lift my shoulder up above like a certain
level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just decided like, well, I've dealt with this pain before, and it took a long time for my arm to get back to feeling good, you know? And like, already realized like, either they're like going to be a savage out here or you're not. And I was like, man, I don't think I can do it. Like, it's going to take too long to get my arm feeling good. And not knowing like there's simple exercises you could do to like strengthen all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just mentally kind of broke down. I was like, oh, dude, get to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What else?
And that's like it's such a interesting place to be at mentally when like you're ending a career, because I think, I like talking about sports with other dudes who played, like real high intensity athletics, is because I'm sure for you, just like me, like people that hear this, they'll think like, hey, just because like, we're UPS drivers, they'll think being a UPS driver is our first career, but no. Actually, the athletics is actually the first career, because if you're doing something from 5, 6, or even 7 all the way until you're like 21, 22, 23, then it's like, no, I had a full-blown career before I even became a man. So and I do think that kind of lends a little bit to like us being able to be in like the right mindset coming into being UPS drivers, of like having the tenacity and the mental fortitude and just like the dedication and the awareness of these are the things you need to do. These are the places you need to be at mentally and physically to be able to get through and accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to do, because we already went through those stages in our athletic careers.
For sure. I think back, what brings me right into like, thinking about it recently, like conditioning. I hated conditioning.
Yeah, I told you, I hate running.
I hate it. I ran so much, and that's pictures like that's like how you recover, like how to build, like how to release all the carbon that you've built up in your arm from throwing, is you run.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so all the times, and then like in baseball, simple stuff, you get punished, like during practice. I'm sure you got it with basketball. You're doing suicide sprints or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I used to hate suicides.
Well,
so much.
Baseball fields got so many different shapes that they can make you run in.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a big field, but the discipline, and I didn't realize what I learned from that. And still, like I really should be. I should have kept on with it,
Okay.
But yeah, I hated it.
Okay.
But just that, the things you learn in those deep waters,
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn how to, you always have another gear. You just mentally get in there.
And what you said right there is like, that's what I was saying before we started the show. I was like, I can ask you like these simple questions, and then you'll say something that's like super deep that I can ask you more stuff about.
Yeah.
So just right there, how you said, just being in those deep waters, I firmly am like such a supporter of being in situations where you want to quit and give up multiple times. And I think being in situations during the course of my athletic career where, like, like you said, running suicides, you wanna quit immediately. Oh, yeah. Or so this is something interesting. When I was my junior year of high school, my basketball coach, for part of our conditioning, he decided that, hey, you guys are also going to be the cross country team. So he made us run cross country, and I don't know if you can imagine, Jay, but it's like 15 black kids, and then we all show up in our basketball uniforms to cross country meets, and everybody's looking at us like, what are you guys doing here? Yeah. And then I just remember, I think we may have ran like 4 or 5 meets, and literally every single one of us was like throwing up, because I think it was like 3.5 miles that we had to run during competition.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, this is the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
Why are we out here running little baby marathons right now? We are a basketball team. But I will say, from doing that is the team that I was on, where we won CIF. We were CIF state champs.
Yeah.
So because he put us in situations like that consistently, where we were throwing up, we all wanted to quit. We just had a deep hate for him sometimes. Like, why are you doing this to us? Mm-hmm. But it did, breed greatness. So,
well, it's funny now, like the once those tables turn, like I think about coaching now, and like I get excited about it, because like I'm so far removed from the game that like when I'm daydreaming, like I'm thinking about like coaching or even just working on stuff myself. Yeah.
So hold on. So interesting.
That's what
interesting.
Growing up, really, I thought like, man, if I can't make it in baseball, like I'll just fall back on like teaching and coaching. Like my mom works in the district still. I've had aunts that retired from the school districts in California.
Okay.
It's just it's a beautiful thing, you know. Like you look at him like, man, I hated that guy, but then you get older and you're like, man, the respect, like the guy was a genius, you know. Like he made you guys do this thing, but the fortitude that it brought for you and your other endeavors, you know.
Right. And he has something right, because I remember, I don't know where he's coaching now. First of all, his name is Rod Palmer. Rod Palmer, you ever hear this? What's up, dog? You did greatness back then, and you're doing greatness now. But the last time I checked up on him, this was some years ago, he was a assistant coach at UCLA men's basketball.
Tight.
So he did something right. I mean, definitely. I mean, he was getting playoffs every year. Like every other year, they was in the CIF state finals.
Yeah.
So he was doing something correct.
It's a different breed. I like that, the aspect of, when I passing that on, like teaching.
Yeah.
It's a different,
different
thing.
And you got to have, this is what I know, Jay. If you're thinking about like coaching, you have extreme patience, because my son is 9, and so we'll go out in like the front yard, right? And you can't see it over there, but we got a baseball glove, we got mitts, we got a football over there. So we go out in the front and we do, all the sports.
Yeah.
And it's weird for me as a father that has like played high level athletics. So like when he doesn't get something, I'm like, dude, why can't you catch the ball?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. So then I have to like calm myself down. Like, dude, he's 7, 8, 9 years old. He didn't. It's different for him than it was for you. I was naturally able to just fall into it, and like his life is growing up is so different than mine than when I was younger. Like it was like a way of life just playing sports at my age. For him, it's like, no, I'm about to get on this video game, and then I'm about to go make slime or whatever thing, he was into the Pokemon cards. So he wants to go do that type of stuff. So then when we go play sports, I'm like, dude, I thought I was going to at least pass that down to you. So then I try to coach, and I just notice like my patience isn't there. Like you have to be a certain type of individual to not just be a coach, but be a really good coach.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, shout out to you, brother.
Yeah. Well, it's not something I'm doing, but
you're thinking about it.
People,
I think you would be a good coach.
People around me are telling me, but I don't. It's hard to see myself like giving up what I'm doing and coaching, But there's always like I think about a private coaching,
Okay.
Just like I get even around softball, like guys around me, like they want to.
They ask you for your advice.
Yeah, like
that means you're still good as hell.
Check out my kid's swing. Like, do you think you work with him a little bit?
Okay.
And when my boy Abel, his kid's starting to play and he's taking it, he's having fun. So there's lots of opportunity for me to, even if I can just pass on the stuff I have. I had a question for you. Was I training when you came into UPS? Did I train you down there?
No.
I didn't train you?
No.
All right.
No. But great.
Remember?
You are tremendous at this, Jay, because that was where I was transitioning to next. Right. So people at my building specifically, I'm going to tell y'all the story. All right. So it's around Christmas time. I walk into the building, right? I'm just starting, and they're like, hey, you're going to have whatever trucks that they give me. And they put me next to the best dude like in the building. And I remember, I think his name was Matt. I think that was his name, the supervisor who had trained me. He was I think he was kind of relatively new. He might have only been there for like a couple of years or something like that. But anyway, I remember him telling me, he was like, hey, this guy right here next to you, this is the guy. And I'm like, man, whatever, dog. Just teach me what I'm supposed to be knowing, and let's rock this. Let's do this. Yeah. And the dude he was talking about was you. And so for people listening, y'all probably don't know, the first person I ever met here at UPS is Jay. And like people walking around the building wouldn't probably put us together like me and you were cool.
Yeah.
Like they probably just see us walk by, bump fists, but they don't know. We've been knowing each other our whole careers here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the early days of like, what do you remember from being in Tropicana? Was it even Tropicana or were we in Horizon?
No, I was in Trop. I started in Trop. I got that first spot right when you walk into the building. I got that first spot right across from Rachel. I've been like scrambling my brain to look for her last name. Do you remember Rachel?
No.
Anytime Tom Cucci would walk in the building, who are you? Remember that?
Oh yeah, she would let everybody know.
Yeah,
like, hey, the
her?
Dude is here. Of course, I remember Rachel, man.
Savage.
Of course, I do.
I'd put her up against anybody to put a truck together. Like,
I do.
Savage.
I do remember that. Eventually, I got to join y'all group of the badasses who were like superstars at Lowden. But I do know it was you. It was Rachel. It was LaMel. That's another dude that I've known LaMel as long as I've been doing this job, man.
Yeah.
It was I think it went you, me, and then LaMel was on the other side.
Yeah.
And I remember both of you guys went. Yeah.
I'm like, bringing back like images, you know.
And I remember like both of you guys like making it interesting to work there, like because both of you guys are funny. Like if people don't know you guys, people don't know like you guys are like y'all are like weird, quirky, funny.
Yeah.
Like y'all just got like off-brand jokes.
Yeah.
So I just remember like you guys making it like enjoyable for me to be there. That's what I really remember, specifically you and LaMel.
Yeah.
I remember like every day just being like, all right, man, I'm about to go in here, be with my dudes, and then afterwards go in the smoking section, kick it with them, talk some shit. And I remember, do you remember this? Do you remember when I used to, you got me, what the fuck are those things called? The fucking chewing tobacco shit?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Was it a pouch?
It was both. All right.
Yeah, I was chewing.
It was both.
I was chewing, smoking, everything I could.
I remember every day. At first, I was like, Jay, what the hell do you have in your mouth every day? What are you doing? And what is this brown stuff in this bottle over here? What is that?
Yeah.
He was like, hey, J.Love, listen, just take a little bit of this. Thank me later.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. Well, all right, whatever. I'm down. Let me have it. So then I went through a little chewing phase for a little bit, and it was all because of you. It was terrible.
Sorry, man.
And I remember I swallowed it one day, and I was like, oh, this is the worst shit ever. And then I never did it again after that because I threw up like crazy.
Yeah.
But it was fabulous for a minute. I was like, I don't know. I just felt like
Well, it sucks because there's good like nicotine. Like it's just bad like methods of getting it in your body, you know? Like nicotine's not...
It's not terrible.
It's bad for you.
Yeah.
Like it really helps me focus when I work, you know? Anything I'm doing, I gotta have it. But like I smoked and just... I gave that up. I think it's been 3 years, like my birthday. This
that you've had a cigarette?
Yeah, well, no, I've had some since, but that was me, like... and we'll get into that with that Sober October stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Sober October.
But that was me being like, you know what, I'm a man, like, if I can make a choice and buy a pack of smokes, smoke them, and be done with it, I don't have to abuse it. It's not going to, like, trap me again.
Okay.
You know? And that's what leading into the...
See, I've been telling myself for so long I'm about to stop smoking cigarettes, and then I go to the truck, and then I get out there, and then I can't find like the first 5 packages, and I'm like, where are the cigarettes at?
Yeah.
Let me...
That's the hardest part for those getting through work without it, you know?
Yep.
But like...
That's where I struggle.
In my mind, like, I just decided, like, the method of delivery was no good. So let's find something that I can still use and still, like, get the focus from. But I'm not, like, taking it a carcinogen, you know?
Yeah. I'll get... Oh, you're all good. You're all good. Okay. So, I want to talk about... because even though you went driving before me, we were in the same like class though.
Yeah, man.
And I want to talk about something that you new dudes have no idea about. So, first of all, new guys, if you couldn't drive a stick, you could not be a driver. So, Jay, I don't know if you know, but they got rid of the stick in the new classes. They don't even have to do that anymore. So, this is what I did because I didn't know how to drive a stick. So I remember going on Craigslist. I bought me like a beater ass $600 Geo Metro. Do you know what a Geo Metro is?
Yeah, of course.
It's the bummiest of cars. But
was it the white one or was it
no? It was. I don't know. I just know it was black. It was terrible. I don't know if you remember David Rice.
They're great.
Do you remember David Rice?
Yeah, I remember David.
He went with me to go pick it up.
Yeah.
And
did he drive it?
Yes, he did. I remember it broke down in the middle of the street after I bought it, and then we were both panicking, like, "Dude, I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
We're like 21. We're like, I have no idea. No, we were older than that because I started when I was 23. So yeah. So I was like, "Dude, I don't know what to do with this right now." He didn't know what to do either, so we just like got it off the road. But anyway, so I remember doing that, buying that car, and then taking whoever would show me like how to do it, how to drive it, and I would just like learn from them and practice. And then I remember coming in on Saturdays, and Willoughby would let me drive in the parking lot at UPS. He would let me take one of the UPS trucks.
Yeah.
Him and Brandy, they would both let me like practice in the UPS truck, like on property, just, you know. So I remember Hilda took us out. And then I think you were actually the first one to get behind the wheel.
I probably volunteered. You know?
That's what I'm about to say.
Get this out the way. I was probably shaking. You know?
So I remember sitting, I'm maybe like 2 seats behind you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like peeping you out. I'm watching you, and I'm thinking to myself as you're, you know, like driving around the city, I'm like, this motherfucker is gonna pass immediately. He's so smooth coming off the clutch. He just knows. He knows everything to do, and he's making this look so natural. And I immediately got nervous after you got out the seat, because I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be that good.
Do you remember we talked a little bit? Do you remember what we did at the end of that day?
No.
So after that, I had that white Ford Focus, and I grabbed a couple UCATs, and I put them in the car.
Yes.
And I tried to show you.
Yes, I do remember now.
You know.
Yes.
I put a bunch of people in that car and like, here, check it out. This is what you do, you know?
I remember the Ford Focus.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, the Ford Focus, man. Jesus. And I also remember, this is what gave me confidence. It's so asshole of me. But I remember, I don't know who went after you, but I remember Vanessa Tidwell. Tidwell got up there and she was just banging it away. Yeah. Like, it wasn't smooth or nothing.
Right.
But she got through it.
Right.
And I just remember being like, all right, man, if Tidwell can do this, man, then I can do it too.
Yeah.
And what was so dope was it was you, Vanessa, and Shane Williams. I remember.
Yeah.
It was you three in the truck. Like, when it was time for me to go up there, y'all were like actually like encouraging me, and every time like I got a smooth gear, y'all were like, yeah, good job. I'm like, all right, man, I guess I got a team with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, so y'all are my people, man, because you guys like encouraged me through some shit that I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to do. Yeah. And just like thinking back on it, like what you just said, like you showing all of us in the Ford Focus, like you would be a good coach.
Yeah, it's clicking, right?
Yeah, you would be a tremendous coach, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, and that's another thing, man. Like, that's why I'm glad you're here, man, because like that story, like it solidifies so much of what this place is. Like, aside from, you know, just the job of like delivering packages, like the people that are here are so dope.
Yeah.
Like, you really do like become brothers with people.
Yeah.
And like the friends you end up acquiring are like some of the most valuable things you come across in life, which I do want to ask you about. I want to hear about some of the gems that we'll call friends that you have acquired throughout this job.
Well, my number one cat's Abel Dorado.
Yeah, Abel, what's
Paradise.
up? Abel, I know you remember me, man. I haven't seen you in a long time, but I never forgot you, Abel. What's up, dude?
He'll come talk to you. Yeah, and that's probably a friendship for life, you know?
Mm-hmm. I remember when Abel started. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, dude, he came in, and I worked the guard shack a lot, you know, passing out papers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him coming in, I'm like, he's so positive. I like this. Like, I want to be around this guy, you know? And then we started, anytime we bring up baseball, softball, somebody's on the same page. Oh, I could talk forever, you know? So we had a few things like activities in common, and it just sealed that friendship, you know? And been through a lot, you know, in the 10 years, a decade, but he's always there. I talk to him every day, you know? And shout out to all the guys that I don't have time to talk to, you know, brothers.
Yeah.
Brothers out there, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a different thing. Like, we do have these people that you've met in this place that sometimes it's really hard sometimes being there, you know?
Yeah.
But all aside, like, when you can, like, step back and look at the guy next to you and know, damn, he's doing the same thing. And like you said, if he can do it,
I can do it too.
And it helps me, like, support people that are trying to do things, you know? And I'm not, like, it's tough. I think back to my drivers. Thank God they had the patience for me those first couple of days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's days where I get people and I'm like, oh man, it's tough. Like, cause I see where I can see this and I already see, like, oh, I'm an hour behind already just with what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I was even a little more patient in that aspect, but it's not like a fun thing while I'm playing softball. It's work. You know, this is my livelihood. So I ranted a little bit. I forgot what I was talking about.
No, we were just talking about, you know, just the people that we've acquired throughout. Because that's like, I don't think anybody, like, anticipates that when they're getting ready to start this job.
No.
They don't anticipate that. Hey, dude, like, if you come in here and make it, there's going to be more value than just having a 6-figure job now.
Yeah.
Like, because I would even say more important than than the money is the relationships. Like I had Thyman on last week, or whatever. Whenever people listen to this, I had Thyman on, and he talked about how, like, the real currency in life is relationships. And I remember that being something that my dad said a real long time ago. I had to have been like 13, 14, 15, something like that. And he was talking about how the most important thing that he's gotten throughout his whole life have been what he values most is the relationships that he has.
Yeah.
And I know, like, my dad has friends from when he was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And like, business relationships he's been able to keep. And then people from business, he's done business with people and then they turn into friends and stuff. And he was like, man, you never know where the relationships in life that you acquire are going to take, where they're going to take you and what, the value they're going to end up presenting for you. So, that's why I wanted to ask you that, because, like, you're one of those people for me. Like, even though, like, we don't go out and kick it all the time, but every time I see you, I'm like, dude, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to have, like, sit and talk on the phone for 3 or 4 hours every day. But every time I see him, like, dude, I have to say something to Jay, because Jay's like he's a staple in my life.
Yeah.
Like, he's an important figure to me.
Well, every time we talk, it's like, if we're not in the same sentence, we're in the same page or paragraph, We're always, like, got, like, the same things, kids and the job.
Okay, so I do want to ask you about what it was like the first time you stepped on the truck.
Oh man, gotta think a little, I guess.
I'll go first.
All right.
While you gather your thoughts.
All right.
I remember being terrified. I remember being like, okay, the supervisor's not here.
You had John Auxness.
That was his name.
His name, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Say it one more time?
Auxness, like ALK.
Nis.
Yeah.
John.
Shout out, man.
Shout out, John, man. You. Like, dude, besides Steve Olsen, you were that dude to me.
Yeah.
You were such a dope super. I remember he transferred to Wyoming.
He trained you, yeah?
Yeah. He's the reason I'm so good.
She had Steve, so already, like, just having somebody, like somebody so awesome, you just want to, I just was trying to impress him and, download as much information as I could rapidly. But I got real lucky. The girl that I was seeing at the time actually lived on the route
that you trained on.
That I trained on, yeah. I never like abused it at all. Like I just wanted to make sure I got in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know how much of a luck of the draw that is.
I know. And like also, I had lived right across on the route across, which was, I don't know whose it is now, but it's J. Gomez.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's full circle too, huh?
Yep, we're gonna talk about that in a second too, man.
So I knew the area pretty good. I mean, I went to the high school that I delivered to on my training route. 72E, it's pretty simple, up and down Lake Mead, So like I was real lucky there. Like I knew the area pretty good. With a simple map, I could navigate it real well. And then, I already had delivery experience. So I wasn't like super nervous. I remember like coming in the second day and like my numbers were like respectable. Like it wasn't like I got smashed. It was like I learned from there like, oh, maybe I shouldn't like try and just smash real hard because then I have to keep doing to this packet. Like maybe just make sure I'm safe, So, and I was still at the time was still smashing, but it was a different,
right?
Like I figured out, I don't know, stepping on the car I was excited, man.
See, I've said before, like some, you can tell, like some of the guys who come in, you can like just see like, oh, they were meant to do this.
Yeah.
And you were the first example of a person that I saw that was like, oh, this is what this dude, like he's the best one out of everybody who, like, out of our whole group that came, who started like around the same time we started, like it doesn't, me, Bobby, Alan, it doesn't matter. You were the best one by far. Shane, Vanessa, it's a gang of us, but like you were like the bar immediately. Like you even like you walked like it. You just like, no, I'm this guy.
Yeah.
I'm this guy.
I wanted to be there.
Yeah, and it showed. Yeah. It showed. Like you set the bar so high where like everybody felt like, all right, well, we have to compete. We have to compete.
Yeah.
So because you were so good, it made our whole class like have to step it up.
I brought you guys.
You did. I'm not gonna lie. You did. You brought all of us with you.
Yeah.
And I want to be. If nobody's ever told you that before, like I've said on this podcast before, like our class is like the '92 Dream Team.
Yeah.
Legitimately, you are the Michael Jordan of our class for sure. It's not even close.
Respect.
It's not even close, dog.
But it's a what do you call it? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that is. But not we don't know that at first.
Yeah, a lot of lessons we had to learn. Like, and for anybody new out there, like there's so much information that like we probably had access to, but I don't know. Like, I mean, you got this show now. There's so much information you could learn from these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I don't know. I was stubborn. I didn't take too much information from too many people. I just wanted to dig in and learn the hard way,
Off of you saying that right there, right? There is this is a marathon, not a sprint. I thought of something that I could like advise the young guys on.
Yeah.
What Jay just said is true. It is your career is a marathon.
Yeah.
But if you're first starting, like say you're in your packet or something, this is not a marathon.
Well,
it is a sprint. Because listen, hold on, Jay. So when I don't know if you did this, but I know all the rest of us though, we actually legitimately ran. It's been too long, so any important person like supervisor or high up person in the company, too late. All right, this was almost 11 years ago.
And when you say run, you mean like I'm out here, or you mean like suicide sprints, like you getting it,
just right below suicide sprints.
So you definitely had more, but you out there, you getting it. You getting it.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead. Sorry.
So no, you're good. So I think this is why I think. So unless you're like a special case, like how you were, because like you already knew how to think about the job. I think that's where like you had a supreme advantage. You already knew how to think about the job. But for the majority of people, you're not really sure about how to think about running a route and having good time management. So when I first started, we were sprinters, man. We was not like to make up for the other parts that we lacked, we could make up the time with the effort that we put out. So we would put out such an amount of physical effort because we didn't mentally have all the tools yet. We didn't know how to think about it yet. So I would tell new drivers to make up for the and I don't even know if I want to say that because they have navigation now.
Say stuff, like about how you can only make up time either driving fast or run it, and it's like it's hard. You like do the other work too. I know I got called out because I took a new route, never did it before. Just like, oh, this sounds fun. Interesting. And the route I had was pretty sweet, but yeah, and I was falling behind like over loud, and Brad shouted out at me like, "What, do you got a map? Like, are you motivated at all? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you here?" It's like, damn, like I don't even. You're right, for sure. Like I don't have any excuses.
Right.
So that's what I would say is like, do you do what you got to do? Shout out Donald.
Yep.
You either gonna if you want this, it's the difference between steak and ramen. You choose. So figure out how to get in here. You got to do what you got to do. So I would say like if you're well balanced.
That was hilarious, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that was hilarious.
I had a love-hate relationship with Donald. He's one of those coaches for me. You know what I'm saying? Where like, damn, you're riding me so hard, but like coming out the other side of it, like, man, this for a reason. So I'll never forget that steak or ramen.
Yeah. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna say something, but I forgot, man. You fucked me up with that with the steak and ramen. No, it was good. It was hilarious. It was funny. Okay, so I want to talk about the because I had asked you what it was like when you first stepped on the truck, and you were a beast. But so if any, what were like some challenges that you had when you first got on the truck?
So long, man. I don't remember. Well, like, there's always reoccurring stuff. Route now is a little different. But air's always a beast to deal with. You've talked about it on the show, but savers. We had savers back then. There's so much stuff that is different now,
Mm-hmm. Do you like that savers are gone?
Bro, I don't want to say it too loud. But yeah, for the routes that it mattered on, I'm sure it's a big help. And moving back to air to 12 for everything, for Resi, it's huge, man. Because the route that I was doing before I got this one now, like, you'd have like 20 air stops, business, Resi, and just couldn't even cover it. When everything was 10:30, I'd have like 10, 11 late air. And they'd help me out for like a day or two, but then it's like, well, you want me to come talk to you every day like this,
So you don't have to say it too loud, but I'm going to say it real loud for myself. That time is over for me. I don't do that type of stuff anymore because...
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about like
worrying about
the all the air because I'm on a stupid business route and the route that I'm doing is garbage and I have to really work my ass off for 12 hours today. That time is over for me. Okay, so new dudes, y'all will get there eventually. All right, but you got to wait your time.
What's crazy too is I told us like the route that I'm on, like I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like 15, 20 years driving before I get anything close to that. I'm like sitting on this one, and I'm like, man,
how did I get this?
Pretty fucking lucky. And it happened fast. Like everything through the company always happens a lot. It's like, what a time machine, bro. You know, like,
I never heard that before. Good analogy. It is it is a time machine for sure.
We stepped through that metal detector that first day, and you know,
yeah,
here we are.
Yeah, we're like legitimate OG veterans now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
and there's a lot of dudes above us. We gotta give love to.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
So many good dudes, man. It's such a good group. Imagine, like,
now that you said it, who are because I know you've listened to the show before. Who are those guys for you?
The old timers?
Yeah, that have put some of themselves into J. King. Pause.
Man, my boy, Jimmy Hobbs.
For sure. Jimmy Hobbs, what up, dog?
He's smooth as butter, man. He's mellow. Like, you really couldn't get him upset, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, shit about complaining about stuff, but, he didn't, you know, he had his way about him. He's going to do what he's going to do. P-Wall.
Yep.
You know, did his route a lot, so got to look at how he did things, and that was good. John Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Got to jump with him. You know, showed me a little bit.
I always forget Ron Hunt.
Yeah.
Ron Hunt, what's up, man?
Cool, nice dude, man. Like,
I think he is possibly the coolest dude at UPS, period. Yeah. Hands down. Like, as far as, like, demeanor and, like, how he looked at the job, probably Ron Hunt is, like, is the pinnacle to me of, like, the most chill. Hey, dog, the day is what it is. I ain't about to trip out. If I got a problem, I'm going to go into the office. I'm going to say it real calmly, and then I'm going to walk back to my truck, and y'all should probably fix it. Because if you don't fix it, I'm going to get paid more. Yeah. So just do what you going to do. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And he was always that guy to me. Still is.
Yeah. Well, we helped him out one time. Remember that night?
Time ago. I don't know. We've helped out so many drivers.
You're right. But specifically, I remember him because, like, it's not a guy that typically needs help, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember helping him, and it was like, I think it might have just been me and you. We met up with him up there in Summerlin, and like a week later, hooked me up with like a gift card, like, for breakfast. I'm like, hey, dude, like, really appreciate, you know. It was always the little things like that, and now, like, my girl makes these cookies. I've been trying to give them out. Like, I used to give, like, tips, like, to the loaders, like, especially when I first got in, because I remember, like, loading, and, like, it's not very much money. So
yeah, it was basically
when I started driving, like, tip off $20 Friday to whoever loading. Like, I got paid, like, I can share a little, and then I don't know, it transformed, like, into not doing it, you know, only during holidays. But I remember, like, Agopian. He's still out there. I seen him. He was at Red Rock now. Steve Agopian. He's letting his truck. He hooked me up with a tropical smoothie on a day that I was like, man, I am done. I quit. Like, I'm walking out. I was even telling Rachel across, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't want to do it no more. And he rolled in with that, and it was like such a reward. Like, man, somebody cares about the work that I'm doing. Like, I'm doing something for him where he's like, even though it's just like a stupid little thing, he rewarded me with, like, I can keep doing this, you know, right. Like, I do belong here. Mm-hmm. And it's those little things like that.
Man. When I think about it, there have been, because I have to go back in the recesses of my memories of the early days where that, like, when I was loading trucks and somebody would, like, give me, like, a tip, that did mean a lot.
Yeah.
It did. And now I'm thinking, because you said that, I'm like, I suck.
Yeah, we suck.
Because I definitely don't do that. I used to, but I don't do it anymore.
You said it. There's like a transitional period where, like, it felt like for me to get in there, it was like pretty cutthroat. Like, you don't want to be here, you don't. Mm-hmm. And now, like you said, like, the people walking around, like, oh, they're lucky to have me here. And you're not even, what are you even doing? Like, you're not even working.
Okay. People, hold for 2 seconds. I have to take a quick bathroom break, but it's going to be like magic. It's going to be like I never left. All right. Boom. We are back. Okay.
So
you said you have a question for me.
Yeah.
What is this question for me?
You've been
going to ask the
deity,
the host.
So You've been driving for a minute now. When's the last bonehead move you made, like rookie mistake you did? Let me tell you mine. So I delivered to like my golf course, and it's a little drive from the gas station to the golf course. Delivered everything. Took off, got to the gas station, filled up. Forgot my dolly at the golf course.
That's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, that's the last one that I did. It's like, oh, that one hit home. It was recent.
Let me see. The last bonehead rookie thing that I did. Oh, this was this week that just passed. There was an air rag in the back of the truck, right? So I get out and go around, take the dolly with me, and then I scan it. I pop the back door open, scan it, put it on the dolly, and then take the package up there, and then go back around to the front, put the dolly up, boom, boom, on to the next stop. Because, we were trained, you should know like your next 4 or 5, if you can, 10 stops in advance.
Yeah.
So, boom, get up to the next stop. Where the hell is the diet at right now? Where is it? I'm like, no, and then, that panic hits you. Because, that's like, you can't lose the diet. If you lose the diet, you in super trouble.
Yeah.
So it was on the little the fender in the back. I'm like, thank God it didn't fall off.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's happened to me before. Yeah, where like literally was in the middle of the street and I had to like go on a journey. Like, okay, what street did I turn down? And then it was in the middle of a main street. It was on Darrell. Like in the middle of the, I don't know how many cars had ran over it, but I was like, all right, I found it though, and it still works.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my last bonehead mistake. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about something serious, okay? Because only somebody who will have, people who have been here for a long time will understand what, the gravity of what I'm about to ask you. So, we've been here long enough to where we've lost people that we've known. And specifically, the people that are like real big in my mind are Joey Gomez, Noah Masessa, and Ryan. And I remember like every time after like one of them had passed, I remember like a growing up in myself mentally. Like, I didn't know people could like, the stress from this job could like have people lose their lives, and like the gravity of what we were doing, like the job we were doing, like started to sink in, and it started to like mature me, and like there was like sadnesses, like a feeling of sadness I wasn't aware of before, because it's different than like having like losing somebody you work with is different than losing a family member. Not saying it hurts any more, any less, but there's a different effect it has because, the person that you work with, they're doing what you're doing. So it, like for me, for sure, it was a, I don't know, like somber growth, which is something which was new to me, something I, wasn't familiar with, and something I wasn't expecting to happen. Once again, much love to those that passed, and definitely will always remember them. But I want to ask you, man, how has being in a place where coworkers pass away, and even recently with Lockhart having a heart attack, and then Sam McDaniels, you remember him having a heart attack. You remember CJ, that's a clerk now, her having a heart attack. So being in the environment where like people you see and talk to on a daily basis, where these things happen to them, how has that affected you?
It does hit hard, man. It's so close to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I try to just keep like the one package at a time thing, like, and I think definitely if anybody's is like feeling, because we've had like different types of losses, if anybody feels like they need to talk, like they're struggling,
yeah,
like I've been in deep waters, you know, so it sucks. And like I was close with people.
Yep.
I used to run with Noah, like it's my boy. We played softball together. It just, I just wish everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. Like we do have a great support system. So even when we're not feeling it, like just being able to ask somebody, for help. Just being able to talk to me too. Like I haven't done any therapy, but me and my boy, we're on the phone a lot. Just being able to discuss work a little bit helps me. But yeah, I don't know, like the heart attack stuff's scary because it just feels like it's through the roof, and I worry about it. Like I've had a cousin that had heart issues, so yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely something that it's alarming.
Yep.
You know, with the heart attack. The other one is just it scares me. You know.
So, all right, I'm gonna share something with y'all real personal. I don't want none of y'all judging me. I don't care. Judge me if you want to. I don't care. It's important though. So, Jay, you said something so tremendous and real. Being here, there are new emotions. There are new challenges, not just from the job, but I think a lot of people that don't do this job, or even people that do this job, the toll that this job takes on your life outside of here. So for me personally, doing this job for a long time made me a dickhole to the people outside, like in my family, and just like people outside of work, 'cause I would be so frustrated and like just super low mentally. So I'm one of the people who because you hear, like they'll tell you, like, hey, like there are outlets if you feel like you need to talk to someone, because I'm like keeping it a buck, man. Is like sometimes your friends aren't enough, or sometimes your family members aren't enough. So I have personally like made the decision to, hey, I think I need to pick up this like go on the fucking the website and then find out who I need to talk to, because there's something weird happening right now that I've never had these thoughts before. Like, not like the most extreme thoughts, but thoughts of like super unhappiness, thoughts of real depression. And I'm like, I don't really know what to do with these things. So I have, Jay, I've never told you this, and I've never told anybody this, so I'm going to publicly say it. I have made the call to, hey, UPS, I'm going crazy hotline. Y'all need to hear me right now, because I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I feel so angry. I don't know why I feel so depressed. I don't know why I'm talking to my loved ones this way. I love them. So why am I lashing out at them all the time? Why do I feel like no one understands like the struggles I have? Because for me personally, like my lady not understanding like my frustrations was causing such a big problem for me. Like I was feeling tremendously alone. And I was like, dude, like I would talk to some of my guys at work, and they would be like, yeah, man, we gotta go through the same thing. But like they would make it seem like it was just something real easy for them to get over, and they were able to just push through it. And for me, I was like, dude, I don't know why I'm not able to just like get over this damn hurdle right now. So having like a professional to talk to is actually super dope. It does, in my opinion. I don't think it makes you weird. I think it's like an actual cool tool in the toolbox. So, especially like when I think about the heart attacks, right? Because I'm reading this thing right now. This book is called When the Body Says No. And the whole premise of the book, he's talking about like mainly like people with multiple sclerosis, and there are like some other ailments in there. But his real focus is on stress being the disease causer, and how stress is like the real thing that is causing the body to physically break down and the mind to physically break down, because there's like turmoil in relationships and there's turmoil at work, and how not being able to place those in their proper place or know how to really deal with them will cause like organ failure, will cause poor thinking and stuff like that. So when like after reading this, like when I think about the people we've lost, it's like, damn, like if what if they knew how to deal with the stresses? Like, what if they had a better place to put them? What if they like had the right person to talk to, or had the right book to read, or something like that? Yeah. Like, would the results have been different? And then also too, is there a better way to mentally place this job to where like it has a less harsh effect on you, mainly mentally? Because like we're athletes, so physically we could just like bop, we'll get through that. Boom. It's like it's just like doing push-ups or something. But the mental part is something I've never experienced before, and I've never been in a place where the mental part of a job can make you lose your life, or make you cause you serious physical harm. So that's like a place of growth. Like I wasn't expecting to come across that like at all. And I wish it wasn't. I wish there was some other way. Like I would have like came into this type of like thought and awareness. But I guess it is what it is. Unfortunately, that's how it came across for me. But so that's why I'm like, that's the reason why I asked you, Jay, because for one, I super know how close you and Noah are. And Noah was my guy too. Not as close as you guys were, but Noah was my guy too.
Yeah.
So
we fell out like, we became drivers. Everything was different. When I went to Red Rock, we were still getting together, but it wasn't like we were running around preload anymore.
Right. But still, like if like,
well, first let me say, man, that's huge to say that, just to have that understanding for you to be like, I need some help. Because people, like even me, like I've been watching Sopranos, so seeing like somebody in that position need help, like, and I need to step up and do it myself. But like I'm a statistic, like divorced twice already, one kid with it. It just you go through so much, and to try to think like back that we were athletes, like you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then you hit that point like where you're talking about, you don't even know who to talk to.
Yeah.
And it could be a turning point for some people, like you said, reaching out. It's wild, man.
Yeah. What sucks is the fact that like people that like they can just like look at you and like know like see like you're like a man's man. Yeah. Like you literally look like you could just chop down a tree.
It's because of the hair and the beard.
It is. You do look like a Nitro Circus a little bit, just a little bit, dog. But like there's always been like this stigma over men, like, oh, men should just be strong enough to deal with new things or stresses and whatever. But some things like you kind of have to be taught, and some things like are just really difficult, like to say the least. And like, hey, you didn't know how to like swing a bat until somebody taught you. You didn't know how to throw a curveball until somebody taught you. So you might not know how to put stress in the right place until somebody teaches you.
Yeah.
So I know for me personally, like more than like sitting down and talking with somebody and then them like giving me a few pointers and stuff, just the fact to be able to get whatever it is that I'm feeling off without any type of judgment was tremendous.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm being a dickhole to my girl, man. I'm kind of a little impatient with my son, and then somebody not be like, oh, well, you're an asshole for that. So to be able to say that, you know, where you think your flaws are, or where you like you struggling, and the person doesn't be like, oh, well, you're a fucking asshole because you don't know how to deal with it, is tremendous.
Yeah.
And I've actually told a couple dudes at work, like without telling them that I've done it before, like, hey, dude, it might not be a bad idea just to go like sit down with somebody and just like chop it up real quick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's weird. Like, even I'm surprised at myself that I've even like, you know, like said it. But yeah. I feel like, you know, I feel like it might help somebody. I feel like somebody might like legitimately hear it and be like, what, J.Love did that? Yeah. And they'd be like, well, if J.Love is cool with letting somebody know, hey, dog, I'm struggling upstairs right now because I'm going to blow some shit up. And I don't know how to put something in its place right now because I'm super frustrated. I'm sorry for my dogs. They're going crazy. Y'all give me 1 second for the pups. All right, people, we're back. Okay. I forgot where we were at, but...
Well, I had a thought on it because I lost my stepfather before the pandemic.
Oh.
Before, 8 months before or whatever. And we I really wanted my mom to talk to somebody because it's very tragic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, even the people the people that support us have to be strong and hard. And like, I was thinking about it recently, like looking at like the highway and like, even for the people like that help me do what I do, if you multiply that with everybody, like the world stops working.
Yeah.
You know? Like, support's so important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. And
it's tough though, like, because you want to be like and I think it's getting better, but I know like when I came up as a kid, it was like definitely like
super frowned upon.
Be tough and
yep,
or like you said, you can chop wood and fish and just all that stuff. But I think in order to better experience everything, you know, like, and I just started like real recent, like this weekend, but I just pulled out a journal because I was having trouble sleeping, and it's silly work stuff, just stuff that like it really doesn't bother me, but for whatever reason subconsciously it was like on my mind. So I wrote it down on paper, and then it just led into like I just kept writing, and I don't even know what I was writing about, but I got to a point where I like ended up making a little list, you know, and closed the book and thought like, man, I'm opening this tomorrow. Like, I'm going to keep doing it, you know? So it's pretty fresh. We'll see if I stick with it.
So question, where did you get that from? Because I've heard that before. Like, people have said like,
honestly, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yep.
So Joey Diaz on the way out of the church was talking about a lot of stand-up stuff and writing, and he's like, I don't know, I just thought like, wow, maybe I could even just like get out some emotion on the paper, and even if I don't ever read it again or whatever, like just getting those feelings out on the page,
right,
it felt better, and I felt like I slept better. I had a better day with my kid and my girl, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to focus, whereas sometimes, you know, feel like you're cloudy-headed. You can't like focus on anything. You can't get stuff done.
Right.
And that's where like when that stuff leaks into work, like I had an issue where it was leaking into my work, and it felt like I should have did something more about it, but I just chalked it up as it's just a tough time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But getting older and realizing that it's totally fine to not be okay.
Yeah, I think that's something that comes with maturity,
and knowing that it's temporary. Even like, oh geez, the last few days my truck's been packed front to back, and knowing like this is just temporary. Like I'm gonna get this stuff off, you know.
Oh. You know what's interesting about where you started, but when you were saying that, is you said Joey Diaz. So for number one, right, I'm gonna ask you about like what you do on the road, right, like what you listen to.
Yeah.
And because I know we like me and you listen to a lot of the same stuff. I think it's super interesting that because to me this is Joey Diaz, and Joey Diaz is the star of Deaf Dude, who gives people to trip out because he gives them 1,000 milligram edible, right?
That's funny, yeah.
And it's super interesting how you can get that from Joey Diaz, and you can get you can get something meaningful too, at the same time. And that's one of the reasons like why I like listening to Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
is because like he'll have other comedians on there that are just like tremendously funny, and then I'm laughing for 3 hours. Or he'll have Mike Baker on there, or a journalist, and I'll like gain some new perspective on like how what's going on in certain situations in the world, because I'm not like a news guy. I'm not watching Fox News or CSNBC or nothing like that.
No time for that.
So, but it's always interesting though to get like an actual journalist who's investigating whatever's going on in the world, and because I feel like you get more information from that type of source rather than something than something like Fox News or something like that. Not saying all the information is bad or all the information is good, but to actually hear from the journalist and like how they come to what they're writing I think is more like beneficial. So that does make me want to ask you, unless you were going to say something, go ahead.
Oh yeah, most times when I like quote a fact, I'm like, oh, it's probably heard that on Rogan. You know?
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are your favorite Joe Rogan episodes? Like, what type of people that he has on there?
Man, it varies so much. I just like that he's doing it, but some of the space stuff's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Like UFOs.
Yes,
UFOs
it is.
Awesome.
I'm so into aliens, bruh.
Yeah.
First of all, are they real or no?
I don't know, man.
If you had to guess.
Yeah, of course. You know. Think about like even us being
aliens.
Yeah, if you look at, I mean, I guess maybe just because we manipulate the environment, but like dogs act a certain way because they're not wearing clothes. They can still get down in their environments.
That's interesting. You think we might be the aliens?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
I'm not far off from that.
I'm
not far off from that.
Construction, and like dang, and like changing, like we're just changing what was here. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't see like the critters run out.
Okay.
Like, man, something was there and had that, and even if it wasn't something intelligent, but spiders, birds, like we're still coming in and like, well, this looks nice. We're gonna get a nice view right here.
Yeah.
Let's put down a slab.
Yeah. I do like when he has like Neil deGrasse Tyson on.
Yeah.
It's always super interesting when Neil gets drunk.
Yeah.
And when Neil gets drunk, I'm like, oh, look at this astrophysicist being an alcoholic right now. I'm fascinated right now. He's just going off about the stars and the cosmos. Give me more deGrasse.
Yeah, he's the best, man.
And
what about Elon? Dude, he's a hot topic right now.
How do you feel about what Mr. Musk is doing?
I try to just think about him like
I love that dude.
Yeah.
Shoot
I do
this
like
car up here.
Yeah, I like all that stuff. It's crazy. He
Hold on 1 second. I think we have another guest. Hold on. Okay, we was on my boy Joe Rogan. That's what we was on. Okay, but we've talked about Mr. Rogan. I'm the podcaster.
That's right.
All right. So, okay. So I do want to ask you. Okay. So, how would you say this job has changed you for the better?
I don't know. I probably have to talk to somebody about that.
Okay. Well,
I think like time management, like definitely have more alertness.
Alertness.
Yeah. You know, like even I notice on days off, like it's starting to fade for sure. But I used to have like I felt in the morning, like 10:30 when it's air, you know, I felt it in the air. Like you could feel what time it is, you know? Just trying to manage time. And I feel like I'm better at managing my time.
Okay.
Outside of work now.
I was going to say, I don't. One thing I will say is, since I've known you, since the very first day we started loading trucks next to each other, till even right now, you've been like the same mellow dude. Like you like maintain like the same like calm, cool, collected happiness. At least on like that's what you push out.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm trying,
that's what I'll push out. Like I think I've maybe seen you in 11 years. I've seen you mad twice.
Yeah,
maybe. And then even when it was mad, it was like
real quick and
it was real quick and over with.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you like I think the only time I think you were mad at Rubio one time, and I was like, I think Jay might punch Rubio in the face right now.
Nah.
I think that was the most mad I ever seen you, or it was
I was helping.
It was Daniel.
I was helping you,
and yeah, and then
I was helping you with the pup.
Yes.
And Daniel came over and was like, what are you doing here? Like you don't need to help him. And like I don't remember what he said, but I was like, fine. Like when he's out there and he can't fucking figure it out, then you go fucking like save him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, huh?
You was like you was just like now. You was like on some Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's being a dick right now.
Yeah. I just bounced. I just laughed.
He just walked off.
Yeah. The smartest choice.
I was like, dude, you just listen. Jay doesn't get mad, Daniel. So
you know, it was for something.
So you pissed him off right now. Yeah. If he's upset, is you did something wrong because Jay don't just get mad like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do want to ask you. Moving on to the next question. What is the most interesting thing or wildest thing you've seen out there delivering? And you can't say babies like running across the street, because I feel like at first I thought that would be like a random occasion, like where you just see a kid out there in the street with no parent. But I think now that I've been doing the show enough, everybody has seen that. I think.
You mean like for like. Not like animal, just like a random
or animals.
Oh,
so
man.
So now,
animals.
See now that you say that, right? Because we were talking outside that the route you do now, I used to do it before you were on it.
Yeah.
I remember I was I don't know which street it was, but it was going up. I want to say it's Log Cabin. I was going up Log Cabin.
The dirt.
Yes, I was in the dirt, and then there was what you call it, like two fucking Mustangs, just like.
Oh yeah,
just in the street. I'm like, are y'all gonna move?
No.
And they just stood there. I'm like, dog, what's up with these random ass wild horses?
Oh, yeah. I saw coyotes in that same spot this year. Yeah. This week had a hawk out by the Paiute. He popped up out of the bush pretty late. I had to get on the brakes pretty hard because he started coming into the truck. Yeah,
Jesus!
I slowed down. He took off. It's crazy.
I think since we talk about animals, I had I want to say they're corn snakes because it's up in Corn Creek, but he whatever you call it, like he got in striking position and just like lunged at the truck because I was coming out of it was off I think Pugat's, I think that's the street.
Yeah.
One of them streets over there. So I get back in the truck, right, passenger door, and I sit in the seat, and then I just see him like right by the tire, and he's like coiled up, and then he just like bit the tire, like did the little thing and bit at the tire. I'm like, I don't ever want to be out here anymore. I don't like snakes.
Yeah, I'm totally with
I'm not a snake guy at all. And
kid wants a lizard. And
no, you can't have nothing like that. Like, you can't have a frog, a turtle. You can't have nothing in that area.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say like animals, like random animals.
Like, other than that, like I haven't really seen anything too crazy. Like there's some funny stuff that's happened.
Like what?
Delivering, you need a signature, and there being like a language barrier, and the old dad, I like gave him the board for his signature, and they held it up like it was a cell phone, like hola, you know. And then
they thought it was a phone, bro.
It was a phone. I was like, no, that's like a signature. And then
oh shit on myself.
A delivery.
That's hilarious.
And then kids yelling out like, yeah, pizza, you know. You hear that one? No, I've had a few kids like I roll up and deliver.
You think you're delivering a pizza? Bro?
Yeah. And they're just so excited, like, oh yeah, pizza. And I'm like, sorry, like, you know, it just sucks to the parents now.
Oh Jesus. Okay. All right. So because we've been going.
Yeah.
I gotta be respectful of your time. Okay. So my last question to you: do you think you have made an impact here throughout your time here?
I want to say no. I feel like I could do more.
Why do you say no?
I don't know. I just try to be humble and like.
You are Mr. Humble, man.
Yeah,
I will say that. People that don't know you, you are like the most humblest man alive.
I try to keep to myself and
super meek.
Humble, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be unhumble for you, bastard. Yes, of course you did. What you talking about? Like even from my earlier story, like when we were in the truck together, like yeah, of course, man. Like from the beginning.
Early.
Yeah, like even super early in the beginning, man. Like you took your car and you taught half the class how to drive a stick in your car. Like you were encouraging people when we were in the truck to like, come on, man, you got it.
Yeah.
Like, and then even when we all first started, like you being as good of a driver as you were, like that made everybody else have to be like, all right, we all have to step up our game.
Yeah.
So yes, 100%.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
This will be the same answer next time.
I know. That's the crazy part is I know. You're going to be like, nah, of course I didn't. But, Jay, thank you, man.
Pleasure, man.
I'm glad you came through, dude.
Yeah.
It was, people don't know, like, we could legit do a Joe Rogan podcast and talk for like 4 hours.
Oh, it's a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I know I tell everybody to come back, but I'm not saying I didn't mean it before to the other guests, but you for sure have to come back here.
Oh, yeah.
Dog. 1,000%. So, Jay, I appreciate it, man. And I'm going to see you tomorrow.